Hi, this is Karen. I'm with InspiredByGram.com. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm bringing you my Simple Stamping Sunday card. It is a Christmas card for you guys today, and it uses some sentiments from the Wrapped in Christmas stamp set. Great sentiment stamp set. And it's also, you've got something right here, a sentiment says a little something for you, which you could use as a on a tag for treats or a gift card holder or what have you. So this is a stamp set I've chosen to use with this card. I've also used the 6x6 Feels Like Frost Designer Series paper. Really beautiful paper here. Lots of sceneries in it. So I'm going to show you how I cut that down. And so let's just get started here. Bring in my Stampin' trimmer here, and this is the scene I'm going to be using. It's the same one that I made as the example. So we want to cut this down by to 3 3/4. I'll cut this up, save this, we're going to use it. And then we want to cut it to 5 inches. So when looking at this paper, I'm looking at this side and how much I can trim off, because I don't want to really take away from all the trees there. So I need it to be 5 1/4. So I'm going to start at 5 1/2 and take 1/4 of an inch off this side. And then another 1/4 of an inch off this side, and it should be 5 inches across. Actually, it's not. Let's try it again. We'll just take another little 1/4 of an inch off. And there we go. Then we needed a 1/2 inch there. So that is our panel we're going to be using. We are all done with the Stampin' trimmer. And we're going to bring in our panels here. I've got this one here, which is just a scrap piece of Whisper White. This panel is 4 by 5 1/4, and it's for our inside panel. And also we have our envelope, which is right here, and we're going to stamp on this as well. So let's start with the inside panel. I've got Night of Navy ink, and I'm using the sentiment Christmas Blessings to You and Yours for the inside message. We're just going to stamp that right down. It's a beautiful font. Now what we're going to do is we're going to stamp on the scrap Peace on Earth. Now I'm going to stamp on my envelope down at the bottom. I'm going to stamp 3 times. 1, 2, and 3. All right, so now we're going to close up that ink pad and we're going to assemble our card. Very easy. So I've got a Night of Navy card base. This is 8 1/2 by 5 1/2, and it is scored at 4 1/4. This is Misty Moonlight, and that's cut 4 by 5 1/4. And we're going to add that Feels Like Frost Designer Series paper to the front. I'm using the Stampin' Seal, really sticky adhesive. Okay, we've got a 1/4 of an inch border, and we're just going to flip this over, and we're going to add our adhesive to the back side of this panel and add it to the card front. Again, that's Night of Navy, 1/4 of an inch border, all 4 sides. And now we're going to take our inside panel, and we're going to add some adhesive to that. Sometimes that Stampin' Seal does go back into the chamber there, so you've got to help it out a little bit. All right, and this is a 1/4 of an inch border, all 4 sides. Now the last step here for our card is we're going to use a classic label punch. It's my go-to punch for a small sentiment, and it creates this nice little flag on each end there. So we're going to just take our adhesive, and we're going to lay it right down there and call it good. The final touch we're going to do is we're going to add some sparkle here. So I've got my holiday rhinestones, and I've got my Take Your Pick tool, and I'm going to add 3 of these rhinestones right over the card. Just sprinkle them around. Kind of looks like some glittery snow falling down. So now what we're going to do with that piece that I cut off, wherever it went, I think it's right here. Yep, right here. So we're gonna add this to the back side of the envelope. So I know that this piece is a little bit smaller. Let me just open up my envelope flap here. It's a little bit smaller than the flap itself, but we don't care. We're actually gonna cut this off and call it good. So don't throw out these scraps, okay, you guys? Because you can use them on your envelope flap, even if they're not quite the exact same size that you need. All right, so I'm just going to add this right here. Line it up with that score line on the envelope flap. Give it a good press. And now I'm going to take my scissors that I use for trimming my envelopes. Just because I don't care if they get all adhesive or not. I'd rather have them get adhesive on these than my paper snips. Okay, so now we got those corners rounded around. Now we're just gonna trim off that white piece of the envelope because we don't really want it showing, that little white there. So now if we turn it over, it's a straight line across and it still looks really nice. Okay, so just a little trick there for you guys. Use up your scraps, don't throw them out because they can really dress up an envelope there. So, all right, where's my card? Okay, here's the card we made together, and here's another one. I used a couple different colors on the rhinestones there, and those are the holiday rhinestones. All right, for all the products in this card making tutorial, you can find me at inspiredbygram.com. Thanks for watching.